So this is the first lesson for basic calculus. We're going to talk about limits. So the limit, for us to understand this limit, we're going to solve this problem. Construct a table of values to investigate the following limits. Number 1, this is the limit of 12 over x minus 4 as x approaches to 1. Again, this is read as the limit of 12 over x minus 4 as x approaches to 1. Ang limit doon ay 12 over x minus 4 habang ang x papunta sa 1. So, we're going to investigate what would be the limit of it. So, kung kapag i-graph mo tong 12 over x minus 4, ang x, habang ang x papunta sa 1, what would be the possible values? Hanggang saan lang limit? Just like in riding a car, limit lang talaga. In riding a car, bawal kang lalampas doon, dapat sa line sa gitna ng road. That's the limit. So, for this one, we're going to, kasi x is approaching to 1, ibig sabihin, we're going to have the values first of c here na mas maliit sa 1 pero palapit ng palapit sa 1. So, we'll start with 0, tapos 0.5, tapos 0.75, tapos 0.99. For letter C in here, dito, galing naman sa taas. So, sa taas ni 1 is si 2, tapos si 1.5, si 1.8, tapos si 1.99. Padikit siya ng padikit kay 1. So, oh, no, sorry. It's, mauna dapat si 8, si 5, at saka si 0, 0, 9. So, we're going to identify the limit or the values of here, the values of x. So, it is not the limit, but it should be f of c or f of x. Sorry. So, f of x pala dito. Sorry. So, f of x, it's 12. Ito 12. Palitan mo lang lahat ng x nito. 0 muna. So, divided by 0 minus 4. That's negative 3. So, 12 divided by 0.5 minus, that's negative 3.4085. Next, palitan na natin. 75 minus 4, that's negative 3.69. Habang palitan natin doon, naging negative 3.98. So as you can see, ang itong f of x, papunta siya ng papunta sa negative 4. Ang values is papunta sa negative 4. Let's have this one. What if it's 2? So negative 6. Next, it's 1.5 or 1.8 minus 4. That's negative 5.45. If it is 1.5, this is 1.5, negative 4.8. If it is 1.0009, I'm sorry, minus 4, that's negative 4.01. So from 6 to 5 to 4 to 4.01. So papunta siya ng papunta sa negative 4. So therefore, the limit of this one is negative 4. So that's how you're going to construct a table and then you're going to investigate the limit. Next, we're going to have this graph. Paano naman kung given this graph? How are we going to identify the limit? So in this graph, this is the graph. So we're going to identify the limit of it is negative 1. Kapag negative 1 siya, ibig sabihin, ang limit lang is nandito. So ang limit niya is, that's 1.5. Tapos ang value niya is 1.9. 5. Kapag shaded yan siya, ibig sabihin kapag negative 1, ang value niya is 1.5. Kasi ang graph is papunta sa 1.5, ibig sabihin ang limit is 1.5. Next, 0. Kapag 0, ang limit ng graph is papunta sila kay 4. However, kapag x is 0, may value ba? None. Kasi hindi siya shaded, ibig sabihin sa graph walang 0, hindi siya dumaan sa 0. Next, kapag 2, as you could see, dalawa. Meron dito na hindi shaded, meron shaded. Kapag dalawa siya, you're going to be confused. Walang limit yan siya. So, there do not exist. Pero, ang value ng f of 2 is 1. Kasi may shaded siya dito. So, ibig sabihin, the value is 1. So, that's how are you going to identify the limit. So, ang limit is hanggang saan lang yung graph. Hindi siya lalampas dito kasi ang limit niya na is nandyan. So, that's graph limit. So, there are laws of limits. The first one is, kapag constant to siya, so, ang answer is constant. Halimbawa, limit of 2 as x approaches to 1, the answer is 2. Limit of 3 as x approaches to 4, kung anong number dyan, yun na siya ng answer. Kapag constant, kapag walang variable. Kapag variable lang naman, this is the second law, kapag variable lang, ang answer is yung value dito sa C. That's where which is 2. So, kopyahin mo lang yung 2. So, kopyahin mo lang 2 dyan. Kapag 3 dito, 3 yan siya dyan. Next, the constant multiple theorem. The constant multiple theorem is like this. Kapag itong function, multiply ka ng k, pwede mo ito siyang, it's also the same as k multiplied to the limit of the function. Example, the limit of 3 of x is as x approaches to 2. So, this would be the same as 3 limit of x as x approaches to 2. So, times mo yan siya. So, 3 times, kapag limit of a variable, number 2, ito ang answer. So, 2. So, this is answer is 3 times 2, 6. Kapag variable lang yung answer dito, siyang limit. Next, the addition theorem. The addition theorem, if they're given f of x tapos g of x, what you're going to do is, pwede mo yan siya lang pag you get the limit of this one first, tapos this, the second function, and then you're going to add them. They are just the same. So, just like this, f of x is x, g of x is 2, so the addition is x plus 2. So, kunin ang limit nito muna ni x. So, parang i-distribute mo si limit plus limit 2. So, any number, kapag x, ito siya ang limit. So, 3 plus. Kapag constant naman, kapag number lang dito, kopyahin mo lang yung number. So, 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. That's addition theorem. Next, the multiplication theorem states that kapag times, almost the same with plus, kapag times, times mo lang yung limit the first function at saka second function. So, for this one, so, limit of f of x is x times g of x, which is 2. Itong g of x, palitan mo lang ng 2. Next, as x approaches to 3. So, parang i-distribute mo lang limit of x approaches to 3 times limit of 2, x approaches to 3. So, any number, kapag variable lang, itong sa baba ang limit, answer. Kapag constant naman dito, constant lang, kasi 2 lang siya. So, yan siyang answer, 2. So, 3 times 2, that's 6. Next. The next theorem would be the division theorem. The division theorem states that this one is almost the same as addition and subtraction. So, yung limit nito is almost the same as limit nito first, at saka limit nito. So, parang i-distribute mo lang siya. So, limit of f of x, g of x, over g of x, which is 2. Tapos x approaches to about 3. So, limit of x parang distribute mo over limit of 2x approaches to 3. So kapag variable, answer is 3. Kapag constant, 2. So 3 over 2 or 1 and 1/2 or 1.5. Now the power theorem. The limit of the function to the exponent is the same as the limit of the function, the power of the limit. So limit to the power rather. So just like this one, example of this one. So to solve this, pwede mo na yan siyang limit of x. X approaches to 2 squared. So pag variable, ito ang answer, 2 raised to the power of 2, which is 4. The same lang yan siya sa radical root theorem. So limit of, as x approaches to 2, f of x, which is 4. So ano ba? Square root of 4. So magiging square root of limit 4 as x approaches to 2. Kapag constant, yung constant ng answer. So 4. Limit nito 4. It's 4. Square root of 4 is positive, negative 2. That's the limit function. So that's the limit laws.